52 weeks to wealth, and the 52 weeks to wealth are part of your desire to double your income and double your net worth. Show of hands if you're still committed to doubling your income and doubling your net worth and doing it over the next 12 months. Excellent. So the 52 weeks to wealth were designed to help you through a journey, take you on a trip together with other people who are doing the same exact thing. We do it through real estate and through business because both are an option to increase income. And real estate is where most millionaires store their net worth. Who here has heard that 90% of millionaires are built through real estate? We've heard this number before. Absolutely. Whether they build that way or they store their wealth that way, real estate is a great strategy for building wealth. Also, it's a great strategy for increasing passive income. Show of hands if you like the idea of more passive income in your life. The definition of passive income is not working for your money. And one of the reasons we want passive income over active income, and I'm just saying, me personally, one of the reasons I wanted it so heavily was something called financial freedom. And the definition of financial freedom is doing whatever you want with whoever you want. Show of hands if you're okay with accepting that definition of financial freedom. Excellent. And one more time, show of hands if you agree that's a good goal. Everybody wants a little more freedom in their lives. Awesome. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to run through Wealth Principle 49 with me today and then take action on it. Implement it in your business. Wealth Principle 49 is seek to understand, then to be understood. And the reason it's important, have you ever been in a situation where you were talking and it just didn't seem like it was coming out, like nobody was receiving and you were losing the sales? Anybody ever lost a sale in their life? I'm not the only one. Yes. So men, if you go to bed with your wife and it doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to turn out, you have lost the sale. And it's not just you who's lost. She's missed out on the opportunity too. True or true? So men, we've got to increase our sales skills. And same with children. Who here is a parent? Show of hands if you're a parent and you have wanted your child to go to bed. You knew it was healthy for them. They had school in the morning. They had this big test they had to take, and you were telling them to go to bed, and they just weren't seeming to grasp. And then they suffered in the morning because they just hadn't gotten the rest. Show of hands if you understand. You gotta win that sale too. You lost the sale, and so they lost as well. So in life, it's the same with our real estate investing as it is with our bodies. Sometimes we have the sale, we got to sell ourselves and getting up out of bed in the morning. This morning, I'll tell you what, I had a hard sell on this guy. Man, I stayed up late writing talks for the 100 Millionaire Summit. I was thinking things, I was reading books. And all day yesterday, I was just like, I'm going to stay up just a little bit longer and push a little bit harder. Show of hands if you've ever pushed yourself a little harder than you should have. Absolutely. I woke up this morning and I had to sell myself on going back to the gym. And if I hadn't won that sale, I don't think I'd have the energy I have right now. So give everybody who's ever worked out in their lives on the day they didn't want to a big round of applause. I know it's hard, but you're doing it not just for yourself. You're doing it so you can show up with high energy for everybody else. Now, as real estate investors, we have to seek to understand in order to be understood so that we can get the sale, so we can get the house, so we can get the capital needed to buy the next asset, to get that passive income, to get you financially free. Show of hands if you understand. It's a cycle. It's a process. It's step by step, right? The 7 steps to names on deeds, they're not something you can ever change. First, you do have to know the strategy. Then you do have to know the location. Right? You can't pick the location without knowing your strategy. Otherwise, you could be in the desert trying to buy multifamily. You'll be trying, not doing, trying forever. Show of hands if we understand where I'm coming with this. All right. So as we go into this principle, it does come from a book, which we will talk about like we do every week. There are 52 books, 52 weeks in the year. The average person reads 1 book a year. And that average person has an average life. Show of hands if you don't want average. You're looking for something above average. Financial freedom is not average. The average person has to work. So to want to have financial freedom is to want an above average life, which means you're going to have options. So miscommunication is one of the biggest challenges that face real estate investors. When you want to buy somebody's house, but you don't communicate that fact to them well, or you want to really help and solve their problem, but you say the wrong things, you end up leaving their house without a deal, without capital, and without passive income. Show of hands if you're tired of miscommunication, tired of not being clear in those conversations. Me too. Lost trust. People who are less likely to be trusted because they don't take the time to understand another person's perspective, making it difficult to build meaningful relationships. If a person doesn't know, like, and trust you, they will not do business with you. So by not listening and not understanding where the person's coming from, you lose their trust almost immediately. Show of hands if you're tired of losing trust. Excellent. Inefficient sales and negotiations. So in sales and negotiation, not understanding the other person's needs, write this down, needs and concerns can lead to unsuccessful deals. Because if you don't know their problem, their pain point, their bleeding neck, like I used to say when I was teaching my agents, if you don't know the thing that like keeps them up at night, the thing that makes them stressed out, then you don't know how to push them over the edge into the thing that's going to solve their problem. Show of hands if you understand. Diagnostic selling means asking questions, figuring things out. Number 4, decreased productivity. This is another challenge of not listening and not understanding is poor communication can waste time, energy, and hinder productivity within teams and organizations. In fact, we have a CEO and we have a COO of Alchemist Nation. Both sometimes don't communicate very well with each other. But recently, Steven said, you know what, I'm going to have a conversation with Gary and we're going to go and we're going to dive into this thing. And Steven was very vulnerable and he said, this is what you say sometimes that offends me. And then when I'm offended, I'm not listening. And I told Steven, I was like, I need you to have this conversation with Gary because that's 10 minutes or 5 minutes of you not listening to somebody who is very intelligent means that you guys are going in the wrong direction. But if you can teach Gary how to talk to you, which is weird, right? Gary, this very intelligent man, but so why would you have to teach him how to talk to somebody? By the way, show of hands if you've ever had to teach somebody how to talk to you, because you can be emotional. Yeah, me too. In fact, Dorina has had to teach me many times how to talk to her so that I don't, put up that boundary or put up those walls. And so Steven went and had this conversation with Gary, and Gary was like, yeah, easy enough. Simple solution. I can speak like that. Not a problem. Let's give Gary and Steven a big round of applause. They're both very, very impactful community members and leaders of this community, and they really do a lot behind the scenes, even if you don't always see what they're doing. So decreased productivity comes from not understanding where the other person's coming from. Stagnant personal growth. It's the worst one, in my opinion. Show of hands if you're looking to grow. You're really looking to get to another level, a little happiness, health, wealth, the relationships, spirituality, the people around you. You're just looking to grow, right? So if you're not listening or without seeking to understand others, your personal and your professional growth can be limited because you will miss out on the valuable insights and perspectives of another human being, especially if you're not listening to your clients, especially if you're not listening to your family, especially if you're not listening to the people closest to you. Because if you're missing out on how they're operating, thinking, or feeling, you may be missing out on doing future business. And if we're talking about your spouse, you know what I'm talking about, gentlemen. Future business is very important. So let's give everybody on the call, show of hands if you're committed to learning how to speak first to understand. By the way, very quickly, these are the 5 things you're going to gain out of this. 1, you're going to get improved relationships. We know it takes relationships to make money. 2, you're going to get effective conflict resolution from today's wealth principle. 3, you're going to get an enhanced decision-making ability, the ability to think and make decisions faster. So if that would be helpful, if you've ever suffered from analysis paralysis in the past. So the ability to make faster decisions eliminates analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis cannot exist in a world of decision. It can only exist in a world of indecision. It can only exist in a world of thinking. Once the decision is made, thoughts are done. And so analysis paralysis is dead in a world of active, constant decision. Show of hands if you'd like to learn how to decide a little faster and enhance your decision making. Obviously, increased sales and negotiation skills and successes. That's a guarantee when you listen. And then continued personal growth. Again, we show of hands if you're committed to growing yourself. That's what you get out of today's wealth principle. So take notes, dive in with us, open up the mind, and let's jump into this. There are 5 steps to improving your understanding, seeking to understand. There is a book. We'll talk about that book in a little bit. Mike Shine is on the call, our holistic attorney, our closer, and he'll be revealing some of that. But before I go into this 5 tips, I want to share what we're doing behind the scenes with Alchemist Nation to improve your life, because we have been listening. Show of hands if you're interested in knowing a little bit about the summit, a little behind the scenes of what me and Dorina and the team and all the other speakers have been working on. So 1 has been a workbook that you have voted on. This is who here voted on the workbook? Show of hands if you voted. You're on the group and you voted on Alchemist Nation. All right. So without further ado, the winners have been an adjusted version of both. We took some of the things, we took some of your suggestions, your guidelines. So let's give each one of you a big round of applause. The workbook is now 46 pages. Doreen, is that correct? 46 pages of value. I think she's nodding.
Actually, I think it will be 50.
50 pages. So that's almost double what it was last year. And a lot of the value comes from the speakers. So let's give our speakers a big round of applause. They've added worksheets to go along with their talks. I personally added return on equity and actual description and explanation, because no matter how hard I have tried to teach return on equity, it seems like it's still kind of complex. So what I did is I broke it down into a blog, which got a lot of votes out on Alchemist Nation, and that the most important part of that is going to be in the book this week at the 100 Millionaire Summit. So let's give each one of you a round of applause. I've been listening, and I've noticed it's hard to explain. So workbook, boom, it's on its way to be printed. Also, we know the VIPs been getting a lot of celebrity status within the community. So as somebody becomes a VIP, we post their picture. VIPs will be getting their own journal this year. So that's not why people buy VIP, by the way. They don't do it for the journal. They don't do it for the sick pen that says 100 millionaires on it. They certainly don't do it for this sweet hoodie, which, by the way, the softest piece of material that I now own in my collection of clothing is this hoodie. I wore it for one day. I took it off. For like 5 minutes, and Dorina had it on. Within 5 minutes, she was wearing this hoodie, and she will not give it back. I had to get a new one out of the box today. Show fans, if you understand, that's not why people buy the VIP ticket. They don't do it for the super soft, amazing hoodie. We do got new cups. 100 Millionaires cups. So the VIPs will not be getting access to those cups. Those are only for super high level people who have really helped and contributed and volunteered a lot of time to the community. So I believe our speakers and possibly some very internal people will be getting these cups. Dorina, can you show that cup again? It's really cool because it's got like this black handle now. The handle's black, and on the back side, it actually has 100 Millionaires, where mine doesn't have that on the back side. So give Dorina a round of applause. That was for some very special people. Here's another one. Part of the journey at the 100 Millionaire Summit are all these different types of badges. What do these lanyards mean? So the black one is general tickets. This is for people who are generally showed up, generally there, generally present at the 100 Millionaire Summit. You'll see a lot of black lanyards. Then we've got our super excellent mastery students. So the folks who are in the mastery program, you got a red lanyard because, you took the red pill. So you got the red lanyard, and the master program gets that one. You'll see also yellow. You've got this. These are the execs. Executives are wearing the yellow. Actually, this is the old one, but it does say executive on. I grabbed the wrong wrong lanyard. And then my VIPs. Nobody buys VIP because they walk around with a white lanyard, like a white belt, right? Because masters are also white belts. They go all the way to the top and then they come back. So that's not the reason people buy the VIP ticket. It's not sitting in the front row. It is not the high fives that you were guaranteed to get if you're VIP sitting in front with me the whole time. It is probably because of the network, the relationship with those 25 people who will be masterminding on Thursday. So the mastermind on Thursday is for the VIPs only, and the VIPs only will be hanging out with me and all of the other speakers, including my billionaire mentor, Vinny Chopra, including Bill Allen. These guys will be flying in to hang out and have dinner with us and answer any questions, take pictures. Also, the other thing the VIPs don't buy VIP for is to take a picture with the $1 million. So the $1 million that sits behind me on this desk will be at the 100 Millionaire Summit, and the VIP ticket holders will be taking pictures in the VIP session with that $1 million. We're taking pictures. We'll be doing some video. We may even record some marketing materials together so that if you're a coach or running a coaching program, you can say, hey, look, it's not about making $1 million in a day, but I can help you because I got cash. I can buy your house in cash. Show of hands if you'd love to have real estate investors like, we buy houses cash. Here's $1 million. Let's go. Sell me your house. So we're going to play around with the VIPs doing those pictures. The reason I don't do this on stage anymore is because it just took too long. So fans, if you understand, the VIPs, again, some special treatment. We're going to do special stuff with them. And then we're going to have dinner, then we're going to have lunches together. So the VIPs really are just hanging out and networking with really super high level players. And then our training and our mastermind will be all about scaling how to use the 100 Millionaire Summit, how to go into that room looking for the right people and building your business. Show hands if you understand the VIPs get an unfair advantage because they're very important people. What else do I got? Oh, I got hats. Check this out. VIPs, executives, we ordered 100 backpacks, and these backpacks are sick. They're insane. Like, they fit so much stuff in here. There's so many pockets, and they're so robust. This is right here. What is this called, Dorina? When it's sewed on, embroidered. Who here likes the new logo, by the way, with the round circle around it? It's sick. So this is execs, VIPs, and obviously we get this cool hat. I'm really proud of where the brands come and everything that we're doing. Most of you voted on this, so let's give Darina and each one of you a big round of applause. It's exciting when you listen to your community. By the way, we'll be bringing some programs back. Guerrilla Business School will be coming back this year. So we'll be teaching how to do guerrilla marketing, all the different strategies that get us clients without spending any money. In fact, we make money from getting our clients. Show fans would be interested in learning guerrilla business tactics. I may talk a little bit about the summit. That program will be released again this year. Mission to Millions, how to make your money from something that you love, from your passion, from your purpose, from doing the things that you actually enjoy. I'll be bringing that training back this year. That's a training we've been running for 4 years. It's one of our core principles for building millionaires. We didn't run it last year, and we noticed the community struggled. Show fans, if you're glad we're bringing it back, Mission to Millions is coming back. We're going to teach you how to monetize being yourself, teach you how to monetize impact. The other one we're going to be bringing.
Use your listening ears, buddy.
Oh, can we get Mark muted, please? The other thing we're going to be bringing back, something that is not new, but it's something we've done before, is master of influence. We live in a social world. We live in social media. We live in a place where if you are not seen, if you are not known, the new currency is not money. The new currency is attention. It is your ability to influence others, to be seen by others, and then they purchase with you, then they do things with you. So we're going to bring back Master of Influence, which is something we ran in 2021, and we had a massive success with a lot of the people who were in that program still having success running and creating powerful interactions for themselves. Show fans if you'd like to be able to learn how to negotiate significantly better. The power of influence just within the room, just things just happen for you. The ability to create a video that goes viral so that you say things and the right clients come into, that's where Master of Influence comes in. So we've been listening. We've been listening. And then there's one more that we're going to bring in that I have never, ever released, that I will be talking about at the summit this year, that we will be releasing in 2024 for our community, and that is Train the Trainer. If you've ever wondered how to sell from stage, how to sell from a webinar, how to sell and get a 40% conversion rate. By the way, the industry standard of sales trainers is 10%. The industry standard is that you get into a room of 100 people, you should be able to sell 10% of those people into a high ticket product. For me, I'm consistently between 34 and 40%. Show of fans if you understand, it's better to be trained by people who are better than the average. So Train the Trainer, the reason I'm bringing this back is because real estate agents, because coaches, because capital raisers need to be able to speak in front of a lot of people and get those people to see, understand, and believe in what they're doing. It's important to be able to collect attention. That's what Master of Influence will be used for. It's important to be able to then move that attention, convert large amounts into a product or a service that you're delivering. And then Guerrilla Business School, we're going to show you how to make sure that that all gets automated, to scale it up and grow it so that behind the scenes, you're just focusing on making more money and spending more time with your family. Show fans, if you're excited about this year, these programs that'll be released, they're coming out. I'll be talking about them in detail at the summit. I'm very excited about it. But these are things that you've asked for. Names on Deeds will come back again next year. I will teach it one more time. I'll do Names on Deeds. I'll be doing Get the Deal. I'll be doing Get the Money. And obviously, I've just finished Be the Bank. I'll probably bring Be the Bank back next year as well. So the programs are coming back. They will be a little more robust. We'll be bringing some really high-level speakers. That's from listening. So fans, if you're excited about this year. By the way, give everybody a big round of applause who has voted on these things, who's spoken up and asked for and asked me questions. All of the programs that we build, everybody who has filled out your Millionaire Path. Show fans who filled out your Millionaire Path and gotten your Millionaire Path report. You know what? The biggest thing you did with me was by telling me your why. You told me what you were looking to accomplish in your life. You told me what your problems were. You told me, and then you told me your goal. And I didn't know that most people's goal was not to become a millionaire. It turns out that of all the people who filled out the report, 500 people, the answer comes out that 50% of you just want financial freedom. The question was this: do you want more passive income, more active income? Do you want to become a millionaire, or do you want financial freedom? And 50% out of 500 people said, I want financial freedom. And do you know what their why was? Most of your why was, I want to spend more time with my family. And then this is what really touched my heart. This is one of the reasons we're still doing this every single year, is because most of you said, I want to help other people. I want to help other people experience a quality of life that I know comes with financial freedom. I want to be a part of this mission. I want to go out and serve. I want to be able to move at a bigger level. And so from the bottom of my heart, before we dive into this, the tips for this principle, I want to thank each and every one of you for voting, for putting in your contributions. Give yourselves a big round of applause. It's without you and your feedback, we wouldn't be able to get to that next level. Who here feels heard? Who here feels understood? Excellent. Now, if you want to learn how to do that, what I just created with you, that relationship, that rapport, I want to see you do the exact same thing in your business. Who here is ready to dive into these 5 steps so you can do this in your business as well, so you can connect with people at a higher level? All right, let's dive in. So steps to improve. Again, wealth principle 49. This is 52 weeks of wealth. Every single week, we go into another wealth principle. Next week's wealth principle is wealth principle 50. Never give up. We're going to be talking about the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. The week after is learn to love solving problems for people and getting rich doing it. That's wealth principle 51. And then wealth principle 52 will be at the 100 Millionaire Summit. Wealth principle 52 is called Sharpen the Saw. And the book that comes from is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was the first book I ever read in the personal development world. My first book, I think, was Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit. But the first book I ever read, Mike gets it. The first book I ever read in personal development was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The principle was 52, was Wealth Principle 52 for us. Sharpen the saw. After you've done all your hard work, go back to the beginning and start over again. So Wealth Principle 52 we'll be doing together at the summit. This year's 100 Millionaire Summit is your 80-20 of your 80-20 of your 80-20. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I explained, 80-20 Pareto principle. He said, oh yeah, I know that. I said, well, did you know that the 80-20 has an 80-20? Did you know that 80% of your results produce 90% of your results, 96, right? 80% of the 100 is 96, 80%, 80. And so that means 4% of your results are creating 96%, 40% of your efforts creating 96% of your results. And he was like, oh man, like, I think I figured it out. I think I know what it is. I know what that 4% is. I said, interesting. Tell me, bro, what is that 4%? We were on a podcast. His name's Alex Ramirez. That runs the Real Estate Wealth Builders podcast. And he said, I think the 4% must be training people. It must be educating people. It must be teaching my staff on how to do the things. And I said, you're right. You're right. Did you know, though, that 4% has an 80-20 as well? 20% of 4% is 1%. It's actually 1.25. So actually, yeah, 1.25. So we dive down a little bit deeper, and he's like, man, like, well, what's the 1%? I told him it's acquiring talent that you don't have to train, acquiring people who you don't have to motivate, acquiring people who are already happy, acquiring people who are already on the mission that you're already planning on doing. And then your 4% is just guide them, just support them, just high five them, give them that little coaching, that little training, whatever they need, you serve them. And then 20%, it's serve their clients. Let that help them go serve more people. Show fans, if you understand, you can do this in your business as well. Well, here's the deal. This is why I share this with you. 80-20 of 80-20 of 80-20, that 1%, 99% of the year is at the 100 Millionaire Summit, because 365 days in a year, 1% is 3.5 days. For our VIPs, we'll be spending more than 3.5 days together. For everybody else, we'll be spending about 3.5 days. Show up, register on Thursday night. Don't leave until Sunday night. By the way, those of you who are like booking flights, leave on Monday. There'll be some really cool stuff Sunday night happening for a lot of the community. We'll be going out, we'll be celebrating, we'll do some really deep networking. And obviously, the hot tub business plan strategy sessions, post-event, all the speakers who come and hang around, we will be available. It is a lot of fun to meet and stay late at the 100 Millionaire Summit. Show fans, if you've seen pictures post-event last year, we were partying. Right? We were just, after 3 days straight of, well, for me, it's 4 days straight of like on stage, working hard, like moving everybody's energy. It's nice to just get down and have some fun with you. So let's dive into these 5 steps. First, this is for this week. You can write this down today. I want you to start visualizing who you could do this with. Since Doug's not here, I'm going to walk you through this exercise. First, I want you to practice active listening, which is when you pay full attention to others when they speak and resist the urge to formulate your response while they're talking. Let me say that again. Active listening is resisting the urge to speak in a conversation. It's really, really hard to do. So the first time you try to do this, you're probably going to mess it up. And that's okay, because it's hard to know, but you'll start noticing that you're already thinking about saying words. That's how you know you're not actively listening. Just try to go deeper into the conversation by just listening. Deeper into the conversation, not by asking questions, deeper by listening. And one of the secrets to listening a little better and being able to go deeper is asking questions. Ask relevant questions. And we have this problem with salespeople sometimes. They're like, well, and then how soon would you like to buy the product? It's like, I didn't even say I want to buy the product. But why you just don't read the script, read the person, listen actively to the human being in front of you. So practice active listening. If you have a spouse, if you have children, ask them a question and then stop talking and just let that human being hit you with who they are. This will give you, even if you don't need to make a sale today, if you're not trying to sell them on anything today, it will give you some piggy bank, some bank account money, some reserves for the future if you do need to make an ask. So fans, if you'd be okay storing some gold, some coins with your family or with your relationships that you love and care about the most. Awesome. Same with clients. Oh man, God, please let me be heard. Reach out to your clients for no fucking reason at all, just to say hi. Please. Please, if you could reach out to past relationships who've never bought with you, past relationships who have bought with you, and just say hi and just say, what are you working on? And actively listen, you will one day reap the rewards of somebody who has sought out to understand before being understood. Show of hands if you understand. This is how you have opportunities in the future, is just by reaching out, just by being seen, just by being heard, or just listening. Number 2, empathize. Now, don't be empathetic, because empathetic people are falling into the hole with the person. You don't want to go into the hole with them, but you do want to acknowledge that there is a hole and that they are in it, and that you can understand how that would suck and that would be bad. So listening and empathizing doesn't mean you have to energetically go down there yourself. Show of hands if you understand the difference between empathy and being empathetic. Excellent. Excellent. So try to put yourself into the other person's shoes, understand their feelings, their motivations, and their perspective, and let them know that you believe you understand. You do not, by the way, goes back to active listening. You don't have to tell them a story of how you know. Who here has done that before? Yeah, it's totally like the time I did this thing. Nobody gives a fuck about that time you did that thing. They care about themselves. They care about them. And so you can say, yeah, I see that. I can see how that would hurt you. I could see how that would offend you. I could see how that would slow you down. I could see how that would cause some resistance in your life. I could see how that may not be the direction you want to go in, and you've learned a lesson. I can see how that, or if, by the way, the I can see is because I'm on a call right now with a bunch of visuals. But if I was in person, it may be I can feel the pain that you're experiencing, or I hear you. It depends on who I'm speaking with. And by the way, that's some of the information I will be giving you in Master of Influence when we do go into Master of Influence trainings. And Train the Trainer will talk a little bit about NLP and those modalities. Number 3, ask clarifying questions. If something is unclear, ask open-ended questions to gain a deeper understanding of the person's thoughts and feelings, especially as a leader in your company, especially in a sales conversation, especially in a community. I ask, and sometimes people will be offended by the question. That's okay. Always justify the question with, I just want to make sure I'm doing something right. I want to make sure I understand you. The most important statement to make when justifying a really, especially really personal question, because sometimes I ask really personal shit. Hey, how much did you make last year? By the way, this is just so I can help you get to that next level. I just want to know where you're coming from. If you made 15,000, I'm not going to tell you, let's go spend 100 grand on this real estate property. I'm going to say we probably need to go raise 100 grand on this real estate property. But if last year you pulled in $250,000, I'm like, you need to go get a loss. Let's go have it's going to be a different conversation. Show of hands if you understand, you have to justify those questions, but you do need to be able to ask them. You do need to be able to ask deep questions in order to get to the deep problem, the deep root of an issue. And the more money you're making, by the way, the more personal the questions will have to be, just in nature. Big money comes from big problems, and big problems are usually not easy to see. They're usually under the superficial, be way below the superficial. So you're going to be fishing in dark territory, cold waters. You won't be able to see, and there'll be a lot of pressure on you in those conversations. So understand there's a lot of pressure on them, a lot of emotions, right? Where emotion goes, energy flows, and results show. You've heard this before. Show hands if you heard this. Where there's a lot of emotion, a lot of built up tension, scared, unsure. Right on the other side of that, there's a lot of money usually. especially if they don't have people to talk to and you're that person they're talking to, there's a good chance that you could help them solve one of those big expensive problems that any other realtor, wholesaler, investor would have loved to solve for them. But this person was, tight, bottled up, wouldn't let it out. So ask clarifying questions and then seek feedback. Encourage others. This is number 4. Encourage others to provide feedback on your communication style and be open to making improvements. This is so easy to forget, but it's important to ask. Is this making sense? Is the way I said that, was that clear? Did that get through? Am I saying this right? Am I saying this in a way that is easy to understand? And you don't say it to get validation. You say it because if they're like, no, I'm lost. Holy shit, I'm glad I fucking asked. Like, I gotta go fix this now. Let me go back. Like, where did I lose you? Right? Where did I lose you? Not where did you lose me? Show fans, if you understand, I do this often, right? I check in. I'm checking in with you because I want to make sure that I am clearly communicating so that you can clearly reach your goals. Your goals are all that matter to me. You reaching and attaining your goal is the most important aspect to Alchemist Nation. If you're not reaching your goals, well, we got to go fix something. If I'm not clearly communicating to you how to reach your goals, how to get to where you're looking to go, or what the path would be, then I got to go fix something. Show fans, if you're glad we're fixing things constantly, the only way we can fix is if we seek out feedback. Number 5, read widely. Expand your knowledge and your empathy by reading books, articles, literature, and I would also add in even movies from diverse authors and viewpoints. If there's something you don't like watching or don't like reading, my suggestion is do that. If there's a person who grates against you personally, like you can't stand, like by the way, they do things morally, ethically, legally. It's my rule, right? They do things, all dealings morally, ethically, legally, but you just don't like them. You just, they're annoying. Spend some time with them because there's something there that is taking money away from you. If they do all of their dealings, if they're respectable, if they're a good human being, if they've done things morally, ethically, legally, if they're successful, whether it's their marriage, it's their physical body, it's their business, but something you just don't like about them, my strong suggestion is to actually spend some time with them. And same with authors or same with movies. If they, like, for me, romantic comedies, I don't know. I'll be like, I know a lot of people on here like, shit, like sometimes those are a little annoying, but I have found that whenever I sit through a romantic comedy, Darina is 10 times happier in life, just in general. And I also get a good perspective of where a lot of the female component of society is sitting. When I watch a drama, I don't like watching dramas. Can't stand it. I don't want drama in my life, so I don't watch dramas, so it's never in my mind. But when I watch a drama and I hear the dun, 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 oh my God, I can't believe she's cheating on him. I'm like, okay, interesting. This is a fear that the world is addicted to, because why would people watch dramas? Right? It's a fear that the world is addicted to. Same with horror movies. I hate horror movies. Will not watch horror movies because I don't want to put horror or fear into my mind. But occasionally, when I go and watch a horror movie, you know what I understand? Some of the fears of society. It gives you access into things. I'm not saying spend too long in things that are unhealthy for you. Show fans, you understand. Like, there's ways to do this in a healthy manner. But get a little different perspective. Take a look at people from a different angle. If you're always spending time with the people who are just like you, if you're always spending time with people who think the same way you think, it's going to be pretty hard to get money from them because they also have the same solutions that you have to the same exact problems. Show fans, if you're seeing this in your life, you hang out with realtors, hang out with a bunch of realtors. What the hell are you doing? I don't get it. There's no money in that room for you anyway. Right? Mortgage brokers hang out with mortgage brokers. Like, no, please. I don't think that's going to work. Right? Here's how it works. You got to be the realtor who goes to the accountants, right? Who goes to the doctors, right? The doctors, man, they're always spending money. They're making too much money. They got to level up. They need to go and increase. Real estate investors, right? Real estate investors, man. who here knows that if a realtor spent more time seeking out solutions for you, you'd do more business with them? If a realtor was out there finding you off market deals, if a realtor was out there raising capital from all their past sales when the person made a bunch of money, who here knows that they would love that realtor? Send them referrals, right? Send them repeat business. All right, buy another one, buy another one. But hey, all I'm asking you is bring me a deal and buy another one. So when you are focusing on people who think a little differently, but this is why, by the way, one of the biggest problems I see in this industry, in real estate, is realtors don't know what investors know. Realtors think they know what investors know, and investors know that realtors don't know shit. So fans, have you seen this before? Grasp it. We all know different things, but very few of us, I think everybody in this community understands, we do need each other, right? We do need realtors who can find deals. We do need wholesalers because they find deals. We do need hard money. We do need commercial lenders. We do need residential lenders. We do need the investor, right? The investor moves the economy. It's the investor's transactions that move the economy. We do need people to solve some of their problems. We need people to make mistakes. Warren Buffett made this great quote. Actually, it was his partner, Charlie Munger. So Warren says, why would I teach you or tell you what market, what property or stock I'm going to go buy? So that would be stupid, right? I don't want to buy the stock. If I'm going to keep buying this thing, I want to buy it cheap. I want to buy it low. So I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to go buy. And then Charlie Munger said this. He said, if people weren't wrong so often, we wouldn't be rich. If people didn't make mistakes so often, you wouldn't have the opportunity you have in front of you. So you're not looking for people to make mistakes. You're just looking to solve people's problems after they've already made their mistakes. Show of hands, we understand the difference. We don't want to create problems, but we do want to fix the ones that already exist. So the strong suggestion this week is to go out and do some listening, do some talking, do some understanding. You can do surveys. If you're already a member of Alchemist Connect, you can create forms, you can do surveys and send out surveys to your past clients and just say, hey, by the way, would you fill this quick survey out and then give something away for free? You can ask questions. You can go and ask for reviews. You can ask past clients or friends, hey, would you work with me if I did this thing? If I offered this product or this service, would you work with me? Or you can ask, what are you working on? What are your biggest goals this year? One of my favorite texts to send the community, by the way, if I've ever texted you this, you can raise your hand in a minute. One of my favorite texts to send out to Alchemist Nation is, what are your goals this year? Show of hands if you've received that text from me before. What are your goals this year? What are you working towards? Right? It's important. I'm going to ask it every year. Shoot, I'm going to ask 2-3 times a year because it's important to me. Sometimes these things change. How am I supposed to help you get to where you're looking to go if I don't know where you're looking to go? It's the same with you and your clients. Same with, if you don't know where a motivated seller wants to move, you're never going to get that house. You're never going to get that property. If you don't know where a passive investor, what kind of return they want or what kind of return they're used to, you're never going to get their money. You have to be willing to ask these questions. You have to be, if you don't know what motivates a human being, if you do not know what makes a person tick what they value in life, you will never either get their house or their property or their money or their time. In fact, I just recently borrowed from Larry Steinhaus. Larry was like, dude, I've never borrowed ever. And yet I'm going to lend to you. And Larry did not do it for the money because it was a small piece of money compared to what he was going to do with that money anyway. What he did it for was a relationship. And if you don't know a person, if you don't understand a person, you'll never get access to deals like that. So fans, if you understand. By the way, Larry's going to talk about something at the summit this year. It's sick. Everybody who was at the 100 Millionaire Summit missed out on a huge opportunity. Huge deal, huge real estate deal that Larry's going to talk about at the summit. He's going to show you how he made money from being in the room and being the person who capitalized on this opportunity that everybody saw, everybody was there, but missed. Larry didn't miss it. He jumped in, he had a conversation, he built a relationship, and now he's closing a deal. The deal is closing, I think it's this month, Larry? Coming soon.
Don't talk about it. I want to talk about it only at the summit.
All right, let's give Larry Steinhaus a round of applause. So with the 100 Millionaire Summit, you're gonna find out how he's pulling this deal off from being in the room, being at the summit, not from being on stage, by the way. This is the coolest part. He didn't do it from being on stage. He did it solely from being in the room, from being at the event, from walking around I don't want to give too much away. Okay, so every week we do a book of the week. And we also do our affirmations. I'm going to very quickly, since we are running out of time, I'm not going to throw the music on like Doug does, but I want you to just for a moment, internalize the action steps I just gave you, and we're just going to put them into positive affirmations so that you can leverage that into your mindset. So if you're one of those people who has a recording device next to you, you can definitely use that. So I want you to think very clearly, and you close your eyes. This is the time. We're going to go deep into your mindset. We're going to reprogram. As we're going deeper into your mindset, we're going to reprogram that special place of how it communicates with other people. We're just going to look at that little place inside your brain, whether you know what it looks like. You've seen it before. You've been in there. Maybe it's been a little while. It's got some dust on it. But we're going to walk into that space, and we're going to reprogram the actual like negotiation, building relationship. And I want you to have a little smile on your face as you're thinking about the glory of being the person who is the greatest communicator on the planet. And we're going to reprogram just little tweaks, because you're already very good at this. You're already very talented at communicating with people. You're already very talented at asking questions, at listening. You've been speaking your entire life. You've been listening your entire life. So as we're going into this space where you can make some changes, we're going to move into 5 steps. And I'm going to ask you to move these 5 little switches, these 5 little levers that create massive impact in your life, because you're a fine-tuning artist of yourself. You're a lifestyle architect. You're going in and you're just making little shifts, little changes. So as your eyes are closed and you're moving into this room and you're identifying these 5 areas, you're going to identify your improved relationships. All right, you're going to your active listening area. You're going to look at the active listening switch and you're just going to slide that one to the right. You're just going to move it over. Just increase the volume a little bit on that, where you pay full attention when others speak, where you resist the urge to formulate a response while they're talking. So I want you to visualize in your mind just moving that practice active listening over. Active listening. So now it's just part of what you do. It's just shift it, increase it up a little bit. And as you're going through the room, I want you to look now at lever number 2. This is your empathize lever. And in this empathize lever, I want you to notice that it's got a dial. It's got the ability for you to turn it up a little bit. You can actually turn up, increase your empathy. And I want you to try to put yourself more often into other people's shoes. So you see on the dial, it says other people's shoes. We're just going to turn it up a little bit to more time on other people's shoes, understanding their feelings and motivating their perspectives, their motivations and their perspectives. So turn up the dial a little bit on empathize. That's number 2. And now as we're going through the room and your eyes are closed and you're seeing and you're actually feeling the results, you're actually feeling yourself becoming more empathic, becoming more helpful in listening to people. That practice, active listening, practicing is just so easy for you now. And as you go over to 3, and you've made these changes, right? You've made these changes, they're locked into your soul. Number 3 is asking clarifying questions. And this is, again, like a switch. This is just a switch. It's not a change. There's no volume on this. This is literally you flick the switch and it happens instantly. So if something is unclear, you now ask open-ended questions to gain deeper understanding of the person's thoughts and feelings. And it's possible that the switch was halfway before. Now you just flicked it all the way. So now more often, more likely, you're going to be asking these clarifying questions. And we're going through and we're reviewing this space in your mind. We're going to look at number 4, this number 4 little button. It's just a series of buttons. We're going to shift down. We're going to put one more down. And this one is a seek feedback button. You know, it's not always important to seek feedback when we're going out and we're setting up big goals, and we don't want to seek feedback from people with small minds, but we do want to seek feedback when we're offering a service, when we're offering our time, or we're offering our energy or our money or an idea to somebody who we want to jump in. We want to seek feedback. So we're going to hit that button. We may smash down 2 more just to encourage others to provide feedback on your communication style and to be open-minded, making those improvements. And now is where we're moving through the rest of our self-development area inside of our brain for understanding people. We're going to move to the 5th section. And this 5th section is like a lever. It's an increase. It's a variety now of options that you get to dial across. And I want you to push this down to expand knowledge and empathy by changing or increasing the amount of things, the variety of things that you read, the articles you look at, the literature, and increase the viewpoints of the authors. I want you to just push that lever into wider diversity of understanding, wider diversity of topics, of subjects. Maybe you spend a little more time understanding human emotion, or spend more time on maybe it's geology or it's sports, or it's something that would just in the past hadn't really seemed important or connected to you. Maybe it's the horoscope. So many people find that to be an interesting, funny concept. So maybe you go and you do learn some of these things. So We've now fixed and reprogrammed our minds. So we're going to come back. You can open your eyes and we're going to dive into the next session. By the way, show of hands if you like doing these little improvements, little guided meditations. Awesome. I was watching you. Each one of you I saw you pulling some levers, turning some knobs, you're pushing some buttons. So give yourselves a big round of applause for taking some action. Now, obviously, we can't think and grow rich. We know that. That's crazy. That's insane, right? It was a good book title, but you can't just think and grow rich. You got to have a burning desire for sure, necessary, but you got to take actions. So what we just install into our brain is super high level habits, super high level belief systems, so we can go implement them. Now, the implementation is we're going to start seeing results. What I want you to do this week is I want you to write down things that worked, especially, and you don't have to tell anybody, but you're actively listening. You don't have to make it super weird, but I want you to actually write down a moment or instance where you noticed yourself actively listening and it made a difference. I want you to write down, and this will validate you. This is going to give you more leverage to do it again in the future, because now you're going to prove to yourself that you're somebody who does this and it works. And the reason we write it down is because human beings forget. Human beings forget things that they should know. Human beings forget things that in the past I could build a whole empire off this. They wake up in the morning, it's fucking gone. Forgot all about it. Got tied up in the problems of the world. So I want you to write down, I want you to document your successes of active listening. Keep a journal. And this is so important. You could get a whole journal for $12 on the internet and keep this journal and just write it every day. And if you actively listen to one person a day, your life will absolutely transform. And if you log that, you will get better at it, because what we track, we get more of. And I'm telling you, if you start listening and you start actively listening and really being intentional, your life will not only transform for you, it'll transform for the people you're interacting with. And that ripple effect will continue out long beyond you. So this is Wealth Principle 49. Seek to understand, then to be understood. It comes from a very special book. And this book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. We have Mike Shine on the call. Mike, are you still here with us?
No, birthday emergency for
Birthday emergency, I understand. So, well, How to Win Friends and Influence People is a book that most people have read. Show of hands, you've read How to Win Friends and Influence People? Excellent. So this is a very powerful book. Most of our community has read it multiple times, especially if you're in a recession-proof challenge. I force you to read it every single time we do the challenge. It's one of the 3 books that we require a person to read in order to become recession-proof. You must read this book. So How to Win Friends and Influence People was written by Dale Carnegie. And Dale Carnegie is a great salesperson, a great sales company and sales training company still exists. So show of hands if you would like to share your take on this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Mitch Jorsky. Let's give Mitch Jorsky, the Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing, a big round of applause.
What's up, G? I have a quick share. You can get more into it. This is just my personal one because we all have our own interactions with life, so to speak. And I always joke and say I was notorious for having what I call the Ice Cube face, which is the male version of resting bitch face. And in Dale Carnegie's book, he basically talks about how just smiling can start off a great first impression. And I am someone that would generally never smile. I just didn't like my smile. I wouldn't smile. And I basically kind of looked like I was just not happy. So it's not a good first impression because people are like, who's this angry looking dude with his New York accent? So I learned to smile more, and it's something I'm still consciously in my mind about. But that was literally like the easiest quick tip hack that I got from that book in terms of just setting a better first impression, was simply just smiling, having a more friendly looking, appearance and aura, so to speak.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a big round of applause. It's true. It's true. Smiling has changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. In fact, it's created some awkward situations in my life as well. I'm that guy in the gym who can't stop making eye contact with people and smiling. So it's a little bit awkward sometimes, but it's also changed my life because I'm that guy at networking events who can't help but make eye contact with somebody, smile and say, what do you do? What are you here for? What's your biggest goal? What are you looking to create out of this? And I'm also, because of my friend Ron White, I'm that guy who can remember every single person's name that I come into contact with. And it's a sick skill. It's ridiculous. Show fans, if you understand, people are important. Smiling is important. Their names are important. Their stories are important. The more you can grasp what a person is going through, where they're at, you can not only transform your life, but you can transform their lives. It's so important. So let's give Mitch Jaworski one more round of applause. He's teaching the mentorship this year. So that's another program I forgot to mention. We are bringing back the mentorship program. This program, single-handedly, we brought 220 people through it, 240 people through the mentorship, and 24 became millionaires. It's got a 10% conversion rate over 3 years. So let's give everybody who's going to be running the mentorship with us, Mitch Jaworski, who's going to be running it for us, big round of applause. This program builds millionaires. It's the one thing I can say for sure. The mentorship program tied in with the mastery program, these things have built millionaires. And what's really cool about it is those millionaires are out there building other millionaires through their stories, through their impact, through some of them have become coaches, through the running live events, through just answering questions like Melanie. Like Melanie Santos, literally just, if you message her, she'll be like, yeah, this is what I would do. She's extremely valuable. Each one of them is extremely valuable. So let's give our millionaires a big round of applause. All the time they dedicate and donate to this community, to the lessons. And at this point, we do Q&A. So have you gotten a lot of value out of this today? Was this a valuable principle? Then I want you to go forward. I want you to take some action on this. I want you to share on Facebook. It doesn't have to be a Facebook Live. I've realized I'm pushing people too hard with that. It could be just a text where you just say, what do you do? What is your biggest problem? Where are you looking to go this year? What is your biggest win for the year? It could just be a little message. It just goes out, wondering what my friends' businesses are. Who owns a business? I'm wondering, who can I promote? So fans, if you understand, this will get you some engagement. Oh, Facebook loves engagement. Oh, it loves it. So go out and just seek to be understood. Create a post that allows people to interact, allows people to share a little bit about themselves. The other day I posted one. I was like, I don't know my freaking blood type. Am I the only person? And a lot of people also didn't know their blood type. And now it makes me want to know my blood type. Show fans if you know your blood type already. Oh, fantastic. You smart motherfuckers. I love that. Good for you. Good. That means you probably donated blood. It turns out that's one of the easiest ways to find out is donate blood. So
You're welcome for that hack, Walter.
What is it?
I said you're welcome for that hack. That's how I found out. Also, speaking of hacks, G, people should be listening to the Alchemist Nation podcast to get primed and ready for the mentorship and for the 100 Millionaire Summit. In fact, I believe we interviewed 3 or 4 more speakers. So those episodes are all coming out before the summit. Get caught up and you'll get a little taste of what everyone's speaking about at the summit and just kind of get in the right mindset and ready to go.
This is a huge pro tip. What Mitch just told us is he is interviewing the speakers. So if you don't know anything about the speakers, then you may not get the most value from them in the room. So one of the biggest challenges a speaker could have at a room is having to explain who they are, what their experience is, why they're the authority. So when you listen to the podcast, you'll know exactly all of that so you can listen with more open ears to the content. Show fans, if you understand, it's super valuable to know where a person's coming from. It's emotional. It's really just for you. It's so that you can receive their information better. It helps to know where they're coming from because they're not going to take all the time of a podcast to explain all about their history and their past. They're there to teach you something. Show fans, if you understand, you can do this in advance to get yourself more understanding, more knowledge of why they're the authority on what they do. Fantastic. And the podcast, by the way, also, it's a great podcast. I agree with you 100%. If you can write a review on iTunes, that helps other people find out about the podcast and it helps other people get access to that same information that these guys are doing. And also, if you have feedback to the podcast, please send that feedback to events@alchemistnation.com and we'll make sure that we get that feedback over to Mitch and Andrew so that they can improve and constantly level themselves up and keep pushing this community forward. Also, if there's certain speakers or guests that you would like on the podcast, certain things you'd like to know, you can also make those requests, send them to events@alchemistnation.com, and we can probably get that person on. I have found that with a podcast, I can get just about anybody to show up to do an interview on a podcast with its community. So thank you for being in existence. Let's do some Q&A. So what I found in the past is that questions lead to answers. And so if you have, I know, Antonio, it's a weird one, right? So if you have a goal in your life and there's something that hasn't quite happened for you yet, there's something that hasn't quite snapped or moved you in the direction you're looking to go, then it's possible that there's something we don't know. It's possible that there's something that we have yet to learn or something that we could ask to get us there. So what I want you to think about right now is, what is the one thing stopping you from making an extra $1 million this month? And the first thing that comes to your mind, the first person who has something, just unmute the microphone. And this is just a game. It really is just a fun game. Whoever has something, let's see if other people can relate. Let's see if it makes any sense and if there's any solution to it. So the question again is, what is the one thing stopping you from making $1 million this month? And especially if it seems silly or ridiculous, that's like, share it with us. If it seems important, share it with us. So one of the rules for this session is the first to unmute their mic gets to speak. This is not a raise your hands. This is first to unmute your mic goes, because we want to keep this engaging. We want to keep it fun. I don't mind if multiple people are talking over each other. The idea is, what is the one thing that is stopping you from making $1 million this month? And go. First to unmute wins.
You're going to wait until somebody muted? Is that when you want to stop talking?
Let's give Eric a round of applause. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, check this out, man. It's a major connection, man. And my biggest thing has been really trying to differentiate between the thing that you do well and that thing that you love doing. You know, which one are we going for first, or which one should be the main focus? I don't care who answers. Matter of fact, anybody who has an answer, shoot it at me.
I like this. Which one pays you, brother? Which one do you need right now? Which one's solving problems for somebody else?
Actually, yeah, it would probably be the thing that, I'm doing well, you know, and that's, you know, in terms of real estate, I haven't found that yet, to be honest with you. So, but, you know, as far as that goes, it's more of a speaking thing, you know, and just really connecting with people.
You know, I would strongly suggest running more events and going to more events, running bigger events, inviting people into your event. Gary Aker just locked down deals. Like, he became a lender. He locked down, or he's looking for real estate. He's got real estate deals coming at him. He's got passive income coming at him. He's got all sorts of opportunities just because he's been running the Tampa Real Estate Investors Association. Multifamily Network of Tampa, Mint. And he's been volunteering at the Business and Real Estate Professionals Networks. He's been volunteering at the Tampa Bay RIA, which is run by an entirely different organization, but he built relationships and he went and he volunteered and he created subgroups for them. And he's got all these opportunities coming his way just because he's been a guy in the room. So Eric, I know you got the voice. I know you got the smile. I know you got the ability to listen and care. And I know you got Alchemist Nation. So maybe it's just be the guy in the room until opportunities start forcing you into something, start pushing you into a direction of having to make some decisions. You create enough opportunities. Be seen, yeah. Brother. All right, let's unmute the mic. Let's get another one going. Let's give Eric a round of applause. Go ahead, Larry.
I'll become vulnerable here. So your question is, what's keeping me from making $1 million this month? Now, keep me from making $1 million. You want to know what's keeping me from making $1 million this month? The belief that I can't make $1 million in a month, and that's the reality. So you say it, and I sit here and I go, "Hey," I go, you know, Gardner sits there and he's talking about $1 million. I'm like, why doesn't he be realistic? I could easily make 100,000 this month. I could easily make 200,000, and I have. But I don't think I've ever made $1 million in 1 month before. So when you sit here and you guys are all thinking, "Well, it's the same thing I'm doing." You know, and you guys, I don't know, maybe you have made 200,000 in a month. Maybe you've made, I don't know, I think probably the most I made a month ever is probably about $500,600,000 in a month. But I don't believe I can make $1 million in a month until now, of course, because I'm now realizing that I got to get that out of my head. And that's what it is. It's just the belief. You guys can do it. Everyone can do it. I can do it. My goal, Gawker, is between now and the next summit, because I won't make it by this summit. I know that. But between now and the next summit, I'm going to get up on stage and I'm going to say, I made $1 million in 1 month because of this Zoom call.
Let's give Larry Steinhaus a big round of applause. Did you see what just happened? Each one of you, I want you to pay attention to what just happened. Larry asked a question. This happens so often. We see this all the time. He asked a question and then presented himself with the solution. It was the question asking that created the result within his own mind. It created the answer within his own mind. If we don't ask questions, we don't get results. You don't ask questions because the person might have the answer. You ask questions because if you don't, you will never get the answer. You only get an answer to a question. And many times the answers are already within. You have the answers within you. And I know and I believe that Larry will make $1 million in a month. And I tell people often the story of how we made $1 million, $1.5 million in 60 days. I could have done it in a month if I just moved a little faster. But we did. We made 1.5 million. We bought the condos for less than 900,000, and they on the day of closing they were appraised at 2.4 million. And then we did sell literally a month later one condo for 100,000. So we knew that the 24 condos were worth 2.4 million, and so we made 1.5 million because we all agree we make our money on the purchase. True or true? Real estate, we make our money on the purchase. And so my claim to fame is we made 1.5 million and paid no taxes. I mean, 1.5 million in 60 days, I paid no taxes. So if some guy like me who could do it, who's been in the business less than Larry, has less deals under his belt than Larry, then Larry knows. He knows that then there's just one little thing, and he just found out what it was. It was belief. One little thing, because his skill set is deeper than mine. His experience is deeper than mine. And so the only thing that could have ever possibly shown how could this young kid go and do a deal like this a few years ago was belief. Walter was dumb enough to believe he could. And now Larry is saying, you know what? I too believe that it's possible. And by the way, I want to be very clear, dumb, but I had great mentors. I may have been dumb in doing deals, but I had really, really great mentors who were way smarter than me. Always been my unfair advantage in this world, is I've always attached myself to people way smarter than me, way more talented than me, and with huge hearts who never wanted to see me fail. I want to be very, very clear about my unfair advantage in this world. I can attach to people with huge hearts, huge experience, huge knowledge, and that has made me an unstoppable force in life. So fans, you can do the same. You can care about other people who are way smarter, way richer, way more experienced. Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. Oh, Dorina asked me to drop a link to the summit. Show fans if you'd like to help somebody else get to the summit this year. So you can use our link. It's 100mmsummit.com. Or if you like Larry Steinhaus, you can use his link. It's way easier to remember. It's 100ms.com.
100mms.com.
100 M&Ms, right?
MMS.com.
100
MMS, yeah. MMS.com, right.
He owns 100mms.com, and it goes to his affiliate link. So if you like Larry and you like us, send somebody to 100mms.com. It's easier to say.
I don't need the affiliate link. I just need an easy way to send my students. I didn't need the affiliate link. I just needed an easy way to send my students. It was way too long, your link.
That is 100% why I'm using your link right now. Because my link was too long. So if you have,
let me know. I'll put it anywhere you want in the future. So just let me know where you want me to put it.
I love Larry. Let's give Larry Steinhaus a big round of applause. Very helpful. Very helpful. By the way, if you haven't already joined our affiliate program, you can absolutely make money from inviting your friends. And you can also track who comes in. If you're bringing people anyway, you want them to pay a little bit so that they got some skin in the game. If you got free tickets, you're one of our VIPs and you got 5 free tickets, you don't have to charge your people for sure. We'll just get us their email. We'll take care of them. When they come through the door, they're going to be treated like somebody who came with a VIP. And for everybody else, if you have friends or business partners or associates who you think would be beneficial to do business with you in the future, bring them to the summit and make sure that you're all on the same page. If they get there and they're like, oh my God, this is not my sort of thing, don't do business with that person. They are not long-term. They don't have the heart or they don't have the ambition. Something in there just won't last with you. If they get there and they're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for, do not lose that person. That is the sort of person you can grow with. Their mindset will be there, and we'll be obviously coaching and training them throughout the years with all of our programs that we run constantly. So my strong suggestion is go to one of those links. And for everybody else who's jumping off, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your commitment to your success. your success and yourself, and for doing the things that you do to grow, because I know it's not easy. I know it's work. I know that there's emotions that come up. I know every deal is scary. I know that every conversation could be a failure on the other end. I know that borrowing people's money, I know that lending people money, I know, having the responsibility of a person getting out of their home and getting them to another place, and their family, and all these things is very, very scary, emotional, it's anxiety inducing, but it's also the most important work on the planet. So families are built in houses, and families can lose everything if an investor doesn't show up and purchase a house on time. So I want you to take responsibility for your community. I want you to take responsibility for the people that you're serving. If you're a lender, I want you to find a way to get the deal done. If you're a realtor, I want you to find a way to get the deal done. Dead deals don't serve anyone. If you're a financial planner and you don't know the stuff, get the knowledge, figure out how to help people find the money to tap into these real estate deals, because financial freedom it should not have to be so hard to fight for. There should be people fighting for you. There should be people out there who want to see you get there. And that's what Alchemist Nation is committed to. We're here as a community, as a tribe, to make sure financial freedom is available to everyone. The slogan is financial freedom for all. 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. So for each one of you who's committed to building 100 millionaires, let's give you a big round of applause. I love and I appreciate your commitment to this mission, to this cause, and to your community. I can't wait to see you on the next one. We are literally 20 days away from the summit. So cheers to your success. You have a choice. Always work with the best. See you next week. To give everybody a round of applause who ask questions. I love the questions. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. God bless.